a Mr. Angry editorial that might go on for a while, 'cause I really hate this prick. Big news in Australia at the moment is the release of the book Jonestown by respected journalist Chris Masters. The subject of this book is radio personality Alan Jones. For anyone who doesn't know who Alan Jones is, he's just your standard right-wing, loudmouth, opinionated, shallow, vain, shock jock, talkback radio type buffhead. For people familiar with American talkback dude Rush Limbaugh, close to the same thing. He'll do for the sake of comparison. I've covered Jones before, both on my blog and in videos, partly because the guy just really pisses me off, and partly because there's some funny audio recordings being circulated that I can use to make fun of him in a really shallow way. Thanks to Triple J's Hack Current Affairs show, I can share with you audio of Alan Jones saying potentially embarrassing things like this.
I'm Muhammad Ali of TUE. Hello, I'm Alan Jones, and it gives me the absolute shits to report that I'll be back on Monday morning with all you fuckwits. Shit. Start again. Let's go, we right? Early December will then be a very real option. For my money, it's highly unlikely that the pilot's dispute Oh, shit. Oh, God, nothing is working today. Then it's hard to imagine Mr. Hawke calling a poll. Oh, God almighty. Oh, mate, can you just hang on? It's fucking typing. Jesus.
That was really Alan Jones. For those of you who are wondering how audio like that gets out, well, blooper tapes exist for pretty much anyone in the radio and TV industry, but really potentially humiliating stuff like that for Jones gets out because he's a prick. His staff don't like him. They find him an embarrassing, overbearing, pompous git, and they deliberately leak stuff like that to embarrass him. Now, Jones pressured the original intended publisher of the book and they dropped the deal, but another publisher picked it up pretty quickly and the book has come out this week and Jones has gone into hiding. It's hard to say what part of the book might damage Jones. Quite probably none of it will, but he's always been a little bit paranoid about his sexuality being common knowledge. Personally, I think someone's sexuality is their own business. It's not really a big deal unless you want to have sex with them, I guess. But a lie is a lie, and a lie of omission is still a lie. Probably the biggest blow-up regarding Jones's sexuality happened way back, about 20 years ago, when he was busted in a public toilet in London. Now, the original charge was to do with sweeps the police were doing at the time to bust gay men who were trying to pick up in toilets. Jones has friends in high places and the charges were dropped, so he pretends he never did anything. He uses very selective language like, I'm not offensive, I'm not this, I'm not the other, but he very clearly implies he wasn't doing anything. The cop in question thinks he was trying to pick him up for some anonymous gay sex. Whether he was or not, no big deal to me, but why does Jones go to such lengths to cover the incident specifically and his sexuality generally? For my money, I think the answer is Jones's main listeners are conservative, redneck morons. He's always whipping them up into a frenzy about various minority groups, ethnic minorities. He's always picking on Lebanese people, Muslim people, refugees, illegal immigrants, dole bludgers, and whoever his whipping horse is, he really enjoys getting stuck into them. And I think he knows his core group of rednecks really, they think the same thing about lebs, niggers, Jews, refos as they do about the fags. And Jones might take a hit in the ratings if his personal life became common public knowledge. To me, who he does, who he fancies, who he gets the hots over is no big deal. I couldn't give a stuff. But what really gets up my nose is he's a bully, a liar, and a coward. And I'll give you 3 big examples that shows that thing that your mum used to tell you, that if you stand up to a bully, they'll run and hide. It seems to be true in Jones's case. The first time is when he was actually busted in this toilet in London. When he had to front up to what had happened, he didn't. He chose to run and hide and go underground until the whole thing sort of blew over. Far more recently, there was a bit of a to-do in the Sydney suburb of Cronulla. It's a beach suburb. The local population is almost completely white, which is slightly unusual for Sydney, quite a multicultural city. Now, it's a long way from anywhere, and what happened is a lot of people from the suburbs tend to take the train out to Cronulla to go to the beach. And it was particularly popular with some of the Lebanese youth from southwestern Sydney. Now, there were a series of incidents that I think it's fair to say were perpetrated by young men of Lebanese origin. They were loud, obnoxious, violent and threatening. They even beat up a surf lifesaver, which is just totally not on. And people were getting pissed off. And these guys were visibly someone else. They weren't white. You could tell who was causing the trouble. They were very visible. While there was quite a bit of justification for being pissed off at what was happening, Jones spent a week whipping people up into a frenzy about these damn foreigners who were ruining our way of life. Apparently, thousands of text messages went back and forth inciting people to show up at Cronulla, reclaim it for Aussies. In other words, say it's for white people. I'm all for standing up to thugs of any colour, of any creed, but that does not equate to I'm going to declare this is only for white people. And this is in no way a defence of the particular thugs who were causing the trouble. These guys, who were Lebanese, have a very tribal mentality themselves, and they have a lot to answer for. White people aren't the only racist people. Making broad judgments of people based on race, no matter who you are, is wrong. And I'm not going to defend someone just because they are a minority. Bonding together in some weird tribal way and actually specifically directing violence or sexual violence against another group, even if it's the dominant group, the white folks, it's wrong, okay? It's racist. Jones thought he was on a winner, whipping up this crowd. You know, all the good white folks were going to be his supporters. He thought he was on a winner there. But it got a little out of hand. It's one thing to have a big rally saying, our land. It gets a little bit ugly when you start putting up signs saying, we grew here, you flew here, and really dumb stuff about, we're having a barbecue, no tabbouleh or hummus allowed. That's just embarrassing and dumb. But when you start grabbing guys with brown skin and beating them up, you've crossed a pretty serious line. When you start grabbing and assaulting women because they're wearing Muslim headwear, you've crossed a really, really serious line. Even that, Jones might have been okay with. But these drunken idiots, and it's probably fair to say they were a minority of the crowd, and it may not be fair to say the majority were there with hatred in their heart, but a really noticeable minority who are drunk and stupid actually attacked police and ambulance officers who were trying to take away injured people. Now that blew these guys out of the water, and that blew the whole thing up in Jones's face. He'd spent a week building it up, proudly stamping his name on it, saying it was all him who was drawing attention to this, and then it just got a bit ugly. So how did Jones react on the Monday morning? Did he stand up and admonish these people? Did he take some responsibility for everything getting out of hand? No, the gutless bastard disappeared off air for a week so he wouldn't have to answer any questions. And the most recent example of this typical bully being an absolute coward, what happens when this book comes out Monday morning? Does Jones stand up and take the moral high ground? No! The loser goes off air for a week again. And the cretinous morons at his radio station try and cover and say, oh no, it's not about the book. He planned to take this leave ages ago. Hey, how stupid do you think we are? The publication date for the book was known ages ago. Alan Jones, you are a bully, a liar, a racist and a coward. Right about now, I should answer the obvious criticism of me. Hey, you're calling someone else a coward, but you're hiding your face. Well, I'll tell you what, Jones makes God knows how many millions of dollars every year. That's a fair bit of recompense for what he does. I make zero for doing this, and personally, I want to keep it separate from my day job, which is one of the reasons I wear this mask. Alan, give me $1 million of your bucks and I'll take the mask off and just criticise you as myself. Hell, just give me what you get for one day and I'll do a video telling you you're a wanker without a mask. You know what? I'll take it one step further. I don't even need money from you, Alan. I just need honesty. I just need equal ground. If you think I should take my mask off and present myself, you lower your guard on radio. I don't know how much you viewers know about talkback radio, but particularly on commercial stations, they have a control on their desk which they can adjust. And what that does is completely cuts out the opposing voice. If someone's calling in on talkback, whenever the host speaks, they can have a setting so while they're speaking, you cannot hear the person on the phone at all. It's not one voice is louder than the other, it's the announcer can completely cut off the caller. So if they're good at keeping up a constant stream of talk, you don't hear anything in response. And what that usually sounds like is the announcer is the wise, loquacious, all-knowing one, and the gimp on the phone has just got nothing to say. They've got no response. They're the loser. The host is the winner. Alan Jones, you interview me without that crutch. You let me talk without being talked over by you and answer questions honestly, and you can ask me anything, put my real name out, anything you like, but you have to have the guts to face up first. And you know what? I feel real confident in saying that because I know you're a coward.